Fellas, say goodbye to Chuck Sherman the boy. I am now a man. I highly recommend you join the club. We are doing the wild thing all night.
Acid house music.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Sherm.
Sherman, Aquabell, who's that all you gonna eat?
General Sherman realized and understood the importance of
House music.
So, do you know anything about techno?
No.
Listen.
Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another brand new episode of Sherm in the Booth. I'm, of course, your host, Sherm. Today is Wednesday, November 18th, 2020. This is episode 135. I am so excited about this one. It features a dear friend of mine. He goes by the name of Maximo Quinones. If you guys have been listening to Sherm in the Booth for the past few years, Maximo was actually on the show almost 2 years ago to the date. Now, so much has transpired in between. I knew I had to have him back on the show so we could catch up on what he's been doing. In episode 135, we talked about how Maximo's been keeping busy in 2020 and how he's managed to stay creative and motivated. This is someone who was DJing 5, 6, 7, 8 times a week, and now that has been slimmed down to basically 0. So needless to say, it's been a big change of pace for Max. Now, like I said, it's been 2 years since Maximo came on the show, and he has released so many haters since then. We ran through basically his entire discography over the past 2 years and talked about where he was at mentally with the tracks, his inspiration for him. This guy has had so much success with tracks like I Love Acid on True Musica, which is actually playing in the background right now, All I Need on Funk Junk, and most recently a self-released track featuring Michaella called Designer. Guy is really finding his sound, and with every single release he gets better and better and better. Now, one big thing I did want to discuss with Max is his rebrand. This is someone who, like I said, is a top open format DJ in Chicago. Once you have that reputation, it can be sometimes a little bit hard to be known as a producer. Sometimes you plateau. You have to challenge yourself and change a lot of things in order to be known as a producer first and then a DJ. Max wants to be known as a house producer who also is a great DJ. We talked about how and why he's been doing that, and how although 2020 has been a tough year for the music industry, it's been a blessing in disguise in helping him with this rebrand. Max has so many exciting things to tell you guys about, including his project with our mutual friend Flynninho called Stop Calling Me. But let's get into it right now, guys, so you can hear what Maximo Quinones has been up to over the past 2 years. Let's do it right now. This is episode 135. Maximo Quinones, my man. Give me some cheers. Give me some cheers. Modelo?
Cheers. Modelo.
It is good to see you. And it's good to have you back on the podcast, man.
Thanks, Sherm. Great to be here. Thanks for having me again. You know I love talking to you, so I'd do this any day of the day.
I know. Like, I'm going to ask questions. You're like, so let's catch up on what you've been doing. Like, I know what you've been doing, but we got to let the people know, right?
Yeah, absolutely, and I'm ready.
It's been, like I said before we got on air, 2 years, just a little over 2 years since I last had you on.
Yeah, it has been.
And at that point, you were at a really significant level for your age, for like just your time in the scene. And it's just been such a pleasure seeing you grow and develop, man. Like as an artist, like as a person, like it's just been so cool to see your journey and like.
Yeah, I mean a lot's happened, a lot of good, just a little bit of bad, but you know.
That's okay.
It's all right. We're getting through it, but yeah, I'm excited for the future. There's a lot happening, so and I'm very excited to be here. I'm very excited to talk about it and share what I've been doing for these past 2 years. So let's
dude,
get into it.
You've been crushing it, man. You've been absolutely crushing it, and since then, like so much has transpired. But before we go back, I want to ask, how has it been this year? This has been a tough year for the music industry. Yeah, you've still just been like churning out beats though, bro. So like props to you. How have you stayed so motivated?
So before we quarantined, obviously, I was living a very fast-paced life. Yeah. Very show after show after show.
4, 5, 6 shows a week.
Yeah, sometimes three gigs a night. You know, so it was very so it was very fast-paced for me. Yeah. So I didn't really have this downtime that we're having now, which is great because it resets your creativity. It gives you more time to focus on what you want to get done during the day when you don't have that time because you're so tired from the night before when you're out, you know, playing your shows till 5 a.m.
Yeah, man.
So I've had a lot of time to focus, as in like I run every day now to get my mind cleared, and then from there I just sit down and I just get to work, because even the days you don't want to make music, you have to, because those are the days that you make the best beats.
That's true.
Yeah. So
expect the unexpected.
Exactly. So the more downtime you have, for me at least, I love it, because that means I have more time to just get into it and work on music, email people, just get the little stuff that you don't usually have the time to do, or you just get too lazy to do. Yeah. I get to do it now, which I love, because stuff like that to me is great. And obviously I do miss the 3-4 shows a night. Yeah. But this is great too. So, and I'm motivated now, and I'm more hungry to jump into it once everything reopens, and I know it's gonna be great for me, so I'm excited.
Yeah, I like your approach, because you're kind of like not burying yourself in your work, but like one thing a lot of people have been saying on the podcast, producers like yourself that have still been making music behind the scenes, releasing tracks, putting your head in the sand and just focusing on yourself and doing what you love most, and that's producing music.
Yeah, it's what I love to do. And yeah, obviously if you make music and release it now, there's not going to be much, you're not going to be able to play it out live. Yeah. However, there's so many people at home now that, the people who do love the style of music we make, they're able to listen to it. And then, but you have 5-6 songs done by this quarantine, then when it's over, they'll be like, oh, well, this kid's crushing it. Like, he has 6 songs in this last quarantine. Let's have him play a show. And then, you already have a fan base for him then. So exactly, that's the way I'm seeing it. And I'm just still releasing. I'm emailing people, doing everything it takes. But yeah, it's a journey, but it's fun. I like it.
It's tough. I know. And I remember talking with you about it, and everybody really in the beginning, how everybody got put on the bench, right? And this is kind of an off season for the music industry, but there is a coach out there scouting, right? We don't know who the coach is. The coach is, right? But they're watching us in the off season. And, 100%, and it's important that we get up early. Like LeBron James, bro, he just won the NBA championship again. I just saw he was working out the next day.
Exactly.
Right? And like, you have to have that championship mentality. And I just want to say on top of that too, like, this is also a really important time for us to take a moment back too, like you've said. Right? So like a lot of people like maybe have still partied a lot, or like can't produce and aren't creatively inspired, and I totally understand that. And that's why I think it's really, really unique and special that you said, okay, while I can't DJ 4 times a night and have all these shows, now I have the chance to actually explore my creative side on the production side.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And that was the one thing that I was very I wasn't balancing it right. I was balancing more of the nightlife. That was taking more of my time. Yeah. And I wasn't doing as much as the production side. But now it's flat in the middle, and I'm going to treat it that way, which I should have treated it from the beginning.
It's really tough to do that.
Yeah, but it's worth it, because, once you start really, really working on this music and you're seeing results, it's a way better feeling than anything. I love seeing like my progress in my music, and seeing like me making stuff that I never thought I'd be able to make in a million years. But now I'm here making it, and now I'm sending it to people, and I'm getting responses, and it's really cool, So I'm excited for the future, and I'm very, very happy where I'm at right now. So it's good.
A little bit of acknowledgement goes a long way, bro.
Yes, exactly.
That's incredible.
Thank you, Sharon.
Well, thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, absolutely.
So let's talk about what's transpired over the past 2 years since you've been on the show. Okay, you've done a lot of work on your following, your brand, yourself, like we talked about. Now, I know and knew that you're a house guy, tech house guy. When we first originally got your story, your Chicago roots, man. Like, I remember your brother was a huge influence for you. Your family still is a huge influence for you. Yeah. But you were an open format DJ, right? And it was kind of hard for you to play your own music. But over the past 2 years, you've really, really done a lot of work on that. So you've released tech house tracks like Contagious, WEB. Tell people what WEB stands for.
Work 'em, bitch.
Work 'em, bitch.
Yeah.
I love that.
Thank you.
A lot more appropriate than work 'em, bitch.
Yes.
A lot more
WEB.
marketable.
So, yeah, very much more marketable. Very good song. Check it out. Listen to it.
With Zach Lazzarato, right?
Yeah. Shout out Zach, my boy. Yeah.
That's a sick last name.
It's a very cool last name.
Lazzarato.
Laz is a really cool guy.
Laz.
So, yeah.
Shout out Zach. On Chill Hard, of course, too. And I Love Acid with Flynninho on True Musica.
Yeah.
I mean, that is a tech house banger, dude.
Yeah. It's funny. I was actually on Instagram when Miami Music Week was happening last year, and I tried getting this video. I forget who it was, but someone had a video, and they're at Space, and it was
yes,
yeah,
I remember you telling me about this. Yeah,
and it was like very late. It was I think it was like what time are they open till? Like 3 p.m. to the next day, right?
They're all during Miami Music Week.
Like 24 hours.
According to RV.
Yeah.
Shout out to RV. Yeah, it literally is always open during Miami Music Week.
Anyways, someone has a video where our song, I Love Acid, me and Flynn's song, one of the DJs at Space, while some of our friends from Chicago here are there, they took a video, and they're not even the DJ, they're just taking the video of the crowd.
Yeah.
And in the background, you hear the DJ playing I Love Acid. And I was like, what?
It's real.
So that was a surreal moment, like, to know that our music can even be, like, played during the biggest week in Miami.
Yeah.
You know? So
I mean,
fucking great.
one of the biggest weeks in the music industry.
Yeah, it was awesome. So, and I tried so hard to get that video, and they were like, "Hey," they're like, "I think it expired. I'm sorry." I was like, "Shit!"
Yeah.
I was like, "I need that," but it was still super cool.
The track did really well though.
Very
Did
well.
Super well on TrackSource.
Number 3 on TrackSource.
One of True Musica's like highest streaming tracks too.
Yeah.
Shout out to True Musica guys.
Yeah,
man.
True Musica. Thanks for taking I Love Acid. It was a good song.
It's a great track, man.
Yeah.
And of course, most recently, All I Need on Funk Junk, which
All I
Danny
Need.
Deal gave mad love to.
Danny Deal gave mad love to it. Shout out Danny. And also shout out Blanc, my guys in the UK.
Yep.
Yeah, they
Legit, dude.
yeah, they posted it on their YouTube channel. So shout out my guys Blanc. So yeah, that was huge. It is a very funky track though. I love it. It's probably one of my favorites I've made. So
It is really, it's upper echelon, bro. Like,
Yeah.
it's a really well done track, and it's clear that, like, you know, we'll go through the rest of your tracks here too, but like that to me is like kind of where you're at right now with like your talent, and it's like a really great milestone because your mixing is great, like how you organize the track, the phrasing is great, like what you did with the lyrics, like the drop, like it's just clean, dude.
Thanks, sure. Yeah, that track. Besides the ones that are unreleased, that's probably my most favorite release track.
I know, I can't tell them about the unreleased though.
Yeah, it's fun, it's funky, groovy, and it's just like Danny was saying when she had it on her stream on Twitch, that it's just very technical tech house. It's like that original. She said the sounds were very classic, which I love because I'm very into classic house music. So I tried using very old school sounds for it, and it worked. And she realized that. Shout out Danny Deal. So I'm glad she was able to see that. So yeah. And then, like I said, Blanc picked it up. I think right now we're at like 13,000, 14,000 on YouTube plays.
That's awesome, dude.
Yeah, and it's getting mad love. So
congrats to you on that.
Thanks, brother.
Let's talk about that tech house direction, though. I wanted to start off with this because a lot of your other, maybe let's just call them more commercially friendly tracks, still kind of have that blend of your tech house style.
Yeah.
What do you think it is about your tech house? Because, like, you know, for just the general audience and population, right? Like, it's how we kind of might think of country music, like it's all the same, right? And to a certain extent, tech house is a 4 on the floor with some percussion and a bass line. Yeah. But we know it's a lot deeper than that. What is that level to you? What makes it Maximo? What is that flavor?
Okay, so I might, you know, make some people mad here, but it's okay. So for me, there's three types of tech house. There's the very original tech house, which is like you just said, you just described it. Yeah. And there's very tribal tech house, which there's a lot of different labels that do it, but you like it's very more percussion based. It's very more you hear a lot of like African cymbals, African like percussion, and like Middle Eastern percussion as well. Then there's what I like to call the new wave of tech house, which is a very commercial, very shortened. It's very shortened. It's very it doesn't go 6 minutes anymore. It's very 2.5 minutes, right in your face, boom, it's done. Yep. For me, I've always been into just the original style of tech house, which I fell in love with. I think in some of my songs, maybe you'll hear some of the elements of the new stuff, but for me, I think you always need at least a minute intro. You need a minute outro. Yeah. I really can't do this whole 2-minute thing. Yeah. But the style that makes it Maximo is the classic sounds that you hear in house. That's what I love to use, and I always want to do something different with each track. So you'll never really hear the same sounds in every song of mine. It'll always be a different a different lead, a different saw. Obviously, the bass lines usually I have a distinct style bass that I make myself.
Yeah.
So I love that about me.
Really, like a preset within.
So yeah, it's a bass that I basically
really?
made. I made like the processing. It's still I saved it because I thought the bass sounded amazing. And,
There you go.
Yeah, and I just
I didn't know that.
yeah. So the
Good for you.
And yeah, a lot of people like, oh, that's a distinct sound. Like I haven't heard a bass line like that. So I
Yeah.
like that. So it's very cool, and it's a little more rough in the edges, but it works. And
What plugin did you say you use that through?
I use Serum. So then I just make a bass, obviously, and then I just process it myself. And the end result was great. So I just saved the processing, and then I just kind of throw that in every time, and it just works.
I love that, dude. I didn't know that.
Yeah,
And Serum
yeah.
is a great plugin for that. Let me ask, just to go even a layer deeper, when it comes to sub bass and really getting kind of that gritty feel, you know, are you using it within Serum, or how are you actually getting those layers, and what's your EQ process for getting that Maximo bass line?
Oh man, so
The people want to know, dude.
I think there's 3 EQs on my bass line.
Okay.
And so let me try to remember this, because I don't really. Look at
I
it
understand. Yeah, I know what you mean.
anymore. So the sub I make is the lows are out, but then if you take more of the lows out with an EQ and you take the highs out as well, you kind of like not in the middle, but like 3/4 to the left. I don't know how to describe it right now. Like,
Yeah, I'm picturing.
So-
Gotta close my eyes, but yeah.
So that and then you add another one and you kind of make a cone to like
Yes.
a cone style in the mids.
Yeah.
Because that way you still have the grittiness, but you could still hear it, because for those who don't know about music production, if your bass is too low and you take out most of the high, it'll be very hard to hear it, and it'll also be very muddy.
Yes.
Now with the second EQ, when you do the cone and you bring it to the right instead of the left where the lows are, it takes the muddiness out, but it also keeps that gritty noise. An example I like to give always is, Endure.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
Pump it up.
Pump it up.
Yeah.
Just released a new song called Fur.
Oh yeah, that's fucking sick. Yeah.
So if you listen to his bass line,
Yeah.
it is so gritty, very
Yeah.
gritty, and so low.
Yeah.
And people are like, how did he get it like that? Well, this technique, I believe, at least, because it works for me. So I'm assuming he does something similar to it. And it takes out you. So you keep. I don't know how to like describe it right now, but it keeps like it very gritty and low, but not too low where you can't hear it anymore, and it's muddy, and it just keeps it clean. So there's a song I have coming out that you'll hear that. So
Love it.
Yeah,
That was one of the best descriptions of a bass line ever, bro. Your style.
I think the bass line is what makes a tech house song, So if it's not there and it doesn't sound right, then it's just another typical song with a bad bass line. So
Yeah.
you have to make sure, and it has to be distinct, because everything nowadays is starting to sound very similar. So you want to make sure you sound different from the rest of the crowd.
Right.
So that's what I'm trying to do, at least right now. So,
I love that, man.
yeah, for sure.
And keep making those bass lines, bro, because you keep getting better and better.
Thank you.
I love that, and it's really cool to know that like that is how you continue to give it that flavor, right? Because it's kind of a tough question to answer.
It is because you don't really look at it anymore once you have
Yeah.
a set. But
Yeah.
no, it's good to visualize it and try to make people who are gonna watch this certain things they should be doing with their bass lines. So you can get a preset on Serum and use that, but what if you make the same melody as someone who's using that same preset and they make the same melody as well,
Totally. Yeah.
What's gonna make it different? Well, if you make a bass that sounds distinct and no one's like made a bass like that, or like very gritty, or maybe like something different that no one's heard, and you make it your own style, then people are like, oh, well, why does his melody sound way cooler than that one? Because it's your own, you know what I mean? It's distinct. No one's heard it before. You don't want to hear it. Do I want to get?
Fucking love this guy, man. Yeah.
Do I want to get a burger from McDonald's, or do I want to get a burger from a one chain restaurant that's amazing? You know what I mean?
You don't know my answer.
Think about that. Think about that.
Nice camera action right there, bro.
Think about that.
This guy is photogenic, talented, smart,
Thank you.
good looking.
Thank you. Take a seat back,
bro. You just
I relaxed a little bit.
Yeah.
I got really into it. I'm sorry.
When I saw you go like this, I was like, all right, I'm listening to it.
I get really into it.
No, I love it. I love it. I one of my favorite parts about these interviews is asking people questions that I feel like maybe they've never been asked before, at least in a way. And then when I see your eyes perk up like that, I'm like, oh, yes.
I love it. I love
doing a good job.
Thank you. I love music, and I'm a nerd when it comes to the whole processing stuff. And
that's huge, man.
So,
and you have to be if you want to get deep in this shit.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's great. So you've also done a lot of vocal tracks though too, with collaborations.
Yes, I have.
"Falling for You" with Gordon Miller and Letters, featuring Dimitri and Ali.
Yes.
You know, those are great tracks.
Yes.
Awesome vocals. Of course, recently to Designer with Michaella.
Yes.
One of your best tracks, just streaming wise, support wise, all that sort of stuff.
Yes. Yes.
I want to ask, when it comes to working with vocalists, have you done it remotely? Do you always do it in person? What's the songwriting process? How do they influence you, and vice versa?
So for me, whenever I finish a track, I take about a week to really think about like which direction I really want to go with it.
Okay.
Let's say, for example, let's go with Designer.
Yeah.
So, because if you think about it, Falling for You and Letters.
Yeah.
They're very soft, very like lovey.
Yeah. Easy going.
Yeah. So obviously I wanted, some like loving lyrics and people with like very soft voices.
Yeah.
And then in regards to Designer before the vocal, I was like, man, this is really gangster. I was like,
yeah, it is.
I was like, this bass line's sick. And
yeah.
It has a lot of like swagger to it.
Right.
So I was like, man, this is dope. So then I thought about it. I was like, this could be cool with like a really like gangster girl, like someone sick and who has a lot of swagger. And then Michaella, I thought about it. I was like, shout out Michaella. I love you. She's awesome.
She's very talented.
Very talented. Awesome. So that I thought of her, and she instantly fell in love with the track. And I was like, I want this to be something about like swagger, because like my whole persona is about like, like pertaining to like the girls and making sure they have a good time in the club. Like, like it's make the girls dance, all that.
Dude, you're a good host.
Yeah, exactly. So, and I was like, well, what better way to do it than to make an anthem for girls?
Yes.
So, Designer.
Yeah.
It was for me at least an anthem for all like the girls that go out clubbing. So, and they're obviously when you go to the club, you wanna stunt, you wanna look good. So, rocking Gucci, Prada.
Yeah.
Top to the bottom, everything dressed in Designer.
Dude.
So the lyrics, obviously, I really wanted to focus on like getting a message across, as in like, ooh, I'm hot, like I'm the shit in a sense for women, like to empower them. So, and that Designer kind of made that happen. So it's cool. And then we had fun with it. If you listen to the middle of the track, when she's like, I'll take a vodka cranberry.
Yes.
So all that. Yeah. So we really wanted to focus on like the club life of every place. So because everywhere you go, you're gonna hear like phrases like that. So it's really cool.
I love everything about that track. I remember when you first kind of like, I think you guys were just recording the vocals. And I think she was even just like, I saw her just try recording it, and just her practicing it got stuck in my head.
Yeah. Top to the bottom, we're
dressed in Designer, rocking Gucci on, and my girls rocking Prada. And that's a great example too, because that's something where you in your head made this track and you were like, okay, I know it needs a vocalist, but what type of vocalist, right?
Yeah, you got to really. So that's for me. That's one of my favorite parts. Like when I finish a track and I'm very excited about it, and I'll be like, I can release this right now and it'll do good.
Right.
However, if I get an awesome lyrics and awesome singer on this, it's gonna make the track 5 times better.
Yes.
Especially if it's catchy.
Yep.
So that's when Michaella came into the role, and oh my gosh, she blew it out of the water. I was like, her voice is great. The swagger, she, it wasn't even like with her working with her is like easy peasy.
Yep.
We had a great time in the studio. It was fun, just laughing. Obviously when you're saying quirky little phrases like that, like you laugh a little bit. But
how did that second part come out? So for those that don't know, it's her kind of like she's in the club ordering a drink, talking to one of her friends.
Yes, yeah. Well, I had this. I envisioned it. I was like,
it's cool, dude.
Yeah,
it's
I was
really
like,
cool.
Well, if like the song's about being in the club, I think it'd be cool to have a part where you have, like I said, the phrases that you typically hear in a nightclub. So like, I know the promoter.
Yeah.
I want a vodka soda. So stuff like that, which you would hear at any club in anywhere.
Yeah.
So I was like, I just thought about these like many phrases because I'm always in the club. So I'm like, what do I always hear? And these were the little phrases I heard. So I was like, this would be great to put into the song, and it worked. And then at one part, I was like, I had her say like, I'm here with Maximo.
Yes.
So it was really fun and really cool to do. So
That was a good branding play too, because like if people are gonna play that track, they're gonna hear the artist's name, which is
in the track,
which is very, very cool and unique, man.
Yeah. So I the goal for like those type of songs, I want to release at least one of those a year, just kind of
For
like,
sure.
to be my like a hit every year at least per se. You know what I mean? So,
Yep.
And that was one of the funnest tracks I've made. So shout out Michaella again.
Yeah,
I
shout
love
out
you.
Michaella.
So yeah,
That's
cool.
a really cool track, man. One of my favorites. From
Thank you, brother. Yeah.
Of course, you've done some fun remixes too. TATU, Tattoos, all the things she said.
Yeah, I love that song.
Dude,
Love that song.
well done remix, man.
Thank you.
And just recently, your most recent release with who we were talking about, our homie D-Flow, bro, J Balvin's Ginza.
Yeah.
What is Ginza in Spanish?
I don't know.
That's the fucking Mexican guy who doesn't know. Fucking J Balvin, bro.
I don't know.
Are you the DJ version of J Balvin?
I'd say so.
Jay, yeah,
you're watching this.
I think so. Everything about you.
I to be honest, I don't know what that means, but I love that song. So I was like, I need to remix
It's
this.
so sick, dude. When you're doing remixes, right? Because especially kind of in the past couple of years, like tech house remix is kind of what you're talking about, the new age of tech house, right? Like I've almost called it, someone we both know, Danger Wayne, right? This and Luca, this open format tech house. Yeah. Which is basically edits and remixes in a tech house version, but they're taking these rap songs or taking these like a J Balvin song, right? Yeah. And it's not as easy as it looks, right? Because there's a lot of pitching that you have to do, the vocals, you have to do matching the key, right? Because when you get vocals involved with the song, and that's actually right, it's really cool. That Designer was such a dope song too. But what do you look for when you're like, okay, this is going to be an original, or we need to find some lyrics or remix it? Do you hear a song and then remix it, or does it go the other way around?
Well, for me personally, there's very, very few songs that I like to remix. I like to make my originals. Yeah. But I always try to remix at least one song from like some of my favorite artists. Like, I don't even think there is a tech house besides mine remix All the Things She Said. So
no, I don't think so either. I love that. That's why it's creative.
So, stuff like that. Like, I'd like to remix a lot of old stuff, just because I grew up on that. So I grew up on those types of songs. However, for Ginza, obviously that song's fairly new. Yeah. J Balvin, I think, is like has an impact on like the whole world, global. He's on a global spectrum. His music, it's ridiculous, dude. So
huge,
amazing, awesome music. And I figured like, hey, he's one of my favorite artists, and if I remix it, it's J Balvin, so I know it's gonna do well. I know it's not like, I know people are gonna play it. So
true.
And then I just released it, and I think it has over 60 downloads already.
I just looked today. It's doing really well.
So thank you. Yeah. My buddy, he's over in Mexico. He was DJing and he played it out in Mexico. Nice. So, and then I have a couple buddies from Spain who downloaded it too. So
there we go.
Yeah, and then Gianni, my boy Gianni Blue downloaded it.
Gianni,
so,
what up, Gianni?
So yeah, so a couple like figures are actually I have it in their arsenal now. So if they want to play it, they can. So it's great.
I love that, Max.
Yeah.
That's cool. I love that, bro.
Yeah, man. So I'm excited. It's a good remix. So I'm excited to play it out once clubs reopen.
That's good. I like to know that it's kind of a dime a dozen for you when it comes to remixes, right?
Yeah. There's not much that I really want to like really rework or remix lately. Yeah. I really try to find distinct songs that like are really making an impact. Mm-hmm. Like for example, Ginza was basically J Balvin's like breakout song. That was his like first breakout track. Yeah. Which like people all over the world heard. So that's why I was like, all right, that'd be a cool song to remix. Yes. Because he's crushing it right now, and that was his breakout song. Why
Bring it back.
Exactly. So
love that, bro. Yeah. Well, let's talk about something too. Your project we mentioned earlier with Flynninho, Stop Calling Me. This has been so fun to build this brand with you guys and see the success, man. Yeah. Releasing tracks like Place, Vita recently See It with Jake Shore Drive. Shout out to Jake.
Jake, my man.
Fucking homie, bro. My question is, with someone like you and Flynn, who are great friends, right? But also different in a lot of ways.
Very different.
Right?
I love you, Flynny. Yeah.
We love you, Flynn. But you guys are very different. And he'd be first in line to tell you the same thing.
Yeah, 100%.
When it comes to something where you guys have done Flynninho back-to-back Maximo Quinones sets a lot, right? And you've released collaborations together. Yeah. But now this new brand comes, right? What are you taking from yours? What is Flynn doing with his style? Not only with production, but also DJing, too.
Yeah, for sure. That's a great question. So this is a question me and Flynn get a lot, actually.
Yeah.
So if you listen to some of my earlier tracks, you hear I was making very soft house, very like lovey house.
Yep.
For example, Letters and Falling For You.
Right.
You know? And then now I'm more into, tech and a lot of drums and stuff. And then, so think about like very happy house with a lot of percussion, and then mix that in with just a really hard bass house, which is Flynn.
Yes,
so,
yes.
So it's a sweet middle. It's not like too much bass
Having
house,
me tell,
too much
sort of?
like soft house. It's right there in the middle.
Yeah.
Vita would be a very good example.
Yeah.
Because it's melodic, but it's also hits really hard, and also
driving track. Yeah,
and it also has the horns in the back.
Yep.
So that's a really good example of an in between like if you were to mash Max and Flynninho together, Vita right now would be a great example. However, we have a lot of future releases, they're not out yet, that some are very soft, with which have more influence from me, and some are very hard, which have more influence from Flynn.
Love that.
Yeah, and I think me and Flynn are the perfect team. I love that kid to death. We work very well together. We're very compatible. He's my yin to my yang. So So yeah, it works, and we have so much already, like music wise, to release, which I'm very excited for. So we'll see what happens.
I think it's so cool that you both have worked so hard on developing your own brands, right? Yeah. And this Stop Calling Me is like just this really cool thing that you're doing that is like, it's gonna happen because you guys are just, both of you are already on such this linear path towards success through your own brands, and this is just gonna be something that can have its own success because it's truly like if you guys had a music baby.
Yeah, it is. Stop Calling Me is our baby.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I love it, man. And the See It track is so cool with Jake.
See It's doing very well. So yeah, shout out Jake again.
And the music video you guys did for that, man, tell us about that.
Yeah, so we did a music video. It was obviously here in Chicago.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was a really cool idea, actually. I liked it. So the whole thing about the video is me, Flynn, and Jake, and we're having a great time, which we always do.
Yeah.
And but
the raw footage is so funny.
Raw footage is a great time. So the bloopers, right? But yeah, so basically you see the perspective of our day through each of our eyes. So hence, see it through my eyes.
Yes.
Right? And it's really cool because we're all different people, and we all have different goofinesses to us. We're just different in every aspect, but we're really best friends,
Yep.
And it made a lot of sense because of the lyrics, obviously, but also like to see us just hanging out and like how we interact with each other. And I thought that was a really cool idea. Shout out Colton for the idea.
Yeah,
for the music
man,
video.
very talented.
Love you, Colt. So
Colton's the man.
Yeah, so
check out that music video, guys. It's really dope.
Yeah, we were on a boat for a little bit.
Who's the homie's boat? Who was? We got to give him a shout out, right? Forgot his name. Might have to edit that out.
Yeah. Shout out my boat homie.
Yeah,
Love
good
Thank
guy.
You, brother. Great guy. Thanks for the boat.
But that was a really cool thing you guys
Very
did.
cool.
And that to me is why that brand is so special to me too, because you guys can kind of like take chances with it.
Yeah.
Right? And that's kind of the fun part. Not that you don't take chances with your own brand, but you can kind of like with Stop Calling Me, it's like, hey, let's come together in this idea and see how it works.
Yeah, 100%. I think that's the beauty of it,
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, we have so much, like I said, in the works, and who knows, maybe Stop Calling Me will become permanent, and that'll be it. But
then the after shows will be Maximo back to back.
Yeah, right.
I'm looking forward to the future club after shows.
We'll see.
That's what I'm very
that's gonna
excited.
be fun. We'll see.
You guys are some of the best fucking DJs I've ever seen in my life.
Thank you, brother.
It's big facts, bro.
Yeah, for sure.
So listen to how much we've talked about music in this interview compared to the last one, right?
A lot more.
A lot has changed for you, man. Like last time we were talking about your favorite shows, you're talking about your upcoming as a DJ, right? Which is part of your story.
Yeah.
But this past year and a half, 2 years has been a new chapter.
Yeah, 100%. It's a whole new Maximo, a whole new everything. You know, every year I tend to realize that like I never want to stay stagnant, so I try to level up in a way.
Yeah.
Whatever way it is, I try to do it. And every year, the past 2 years, I've seen it happen. So
yeah.
I'm not the same Maximo that I was 2 years ago, and I don't think
all.
I will be next year either. You know, so every year I'm trying to keep going up, which is great. And
for sure, you
have to strive for that, especially as a musician.
Yeah,
because it's a very hard environment to be around, and if you don't get with the times, then that's it. So
yeah, I mean, dude, it's very easy to get worn out by this stuff too.
100%, yeah.
It's very easy. We've seen it time and time again.
Yeah,
and it's kind of interesting because you had so much success at a young age, like I mentioned earlier, right? As a DJ, as one of the biggest and best and most talented open format DJs, you still are. And now this time, has it been a blessing in disguise because you've been able to take a step back, knowing that you're still the same great DJ, but you told me many times you want to be known as a house producer.
Yeah, that's a great question. Yeah, so I don't know what it was, but one day, it was just a random day. It just kind of clicked. I was like, man, I've been focusing so much on my open format and on, you know, the money and the nightlife.
Yeah.
That I forgot, like, that my actual dream was to be a house DJ, which I love. I love house music, and I'm always going to have love for it.
Yep.
And I was just like, man, well, if I'm going to do it, it has to be now. You know? Because you don't realize this, but time goes by so fast. And I was 20 when I got into the scene, and I'm 24 now, and it feels like I could still remember the first day I DJed 4 years ago in the city. You know? So it feels like it was 2 weeks ago. So
I know, dude. I know.
Time is very, very. It varies. You know, it's very, very. It flies, and if you don't, you know, take care of your own time, like if you're not efficient with your time, then your dreams can fly past and you don't have anything. And I'm glad it hit me at such a young age, at 24. I'm 24 now. I just turned 24. 24.
Happy belated.
Thank you. I'm glad it just hit me because, you know, what if I would have kept partying and just going out in the clubs, which is, you know, it's not a bad thing because I have nothing but love for the open format scene.
Yeah, of course.
But 10 years from now, when I'm 34, and those 10 years I didn't really work on my craft on house music, I'd be disappointed in myself because I just gave up 10 years of my life when I could have been making music those 10 years, and I could have been where I actually wanted to be. Because at the end of the day, one day I'm not going to DJ anymore, and that's just the truth, you know? I'm going to get old, and that's it.
Yep.
Am I going to be happy that I just, you know, played every club in Chicago? I'll be pretty happy. But what if I played every club in the world as an international DJ? You know, those are the memories I want to have for the rest of my life. And I'm very happy and I'm very humble that I was able to quickly understand that. And I've just been really, really, you know, hitting the studio, gas on the brake, on the
gas on the pedal,
gas on the
gas
pedal,
on the brake,
not on the brake. and you know, I haven't stopped, man. I just been. You know, I've been sending you tracks every other day, so
it's unbelievable.
Yeah,
no one sends me more music, dude. Seriously.
You know, it's just when you realize that, you know, time flies and that you only have really one opportunity to do this with your life. You know, you only really have one shot, and if you don't take that shot, then, I mean, it just slips out of your hand, and you got none. So I really, that's something I preach, that, you know, if once you realize that you really want to do something, do it. Whatever it is, focus on it, make it your obsession. And that's what this past year have done with music, because I took it lightly and I shouldn't have, but I'm glad that I understand it now, just a year later, you know, 2 years later, not 10 years later. Yeah. Thank God. Yeah. So, it's a whole new mindset. It's a whole new Maximo, whole new everything, and you're gonna see so much more music being dropped by me. Everything. I have so much in the works already that I don't know if I could talk about yet, but it's good. It's gonna be a good end of 2020 and even better 2021. So I'm excited.
Max, I think that's incredibly mature of you.
Yeah.
And it's impressive, honestly, like I said, man. But the scope has changed for the music industry and for you specifically in a lot of different ways, right?
Yeah, 100%.
Because your scope 2 years ago was, I want to be the biggest and best DJ. I want to be the direct support for all these parties and all that thing.
Which
right?
I have.
And you have, and you've crossed that off the list, and that's great. And it's extremely humble of you to acknowledge how much work you put in, the opportunities that you've given. I mean, you're probably one of the biggest and best guys in the scenes for saying thank you, which is, you would think, part of this whole thing we're in, but it's not as much as you'd hope.
Yeah. Another thing, if my younger DJs are watching this, make sure you say thanks for every gig you get.
Yeah.
And make sure
That's
you
true.
make very well connections and you're nice and humbled by everything.
Yep.
Do not get cocky, I promise.
No.
If you get cocky, then things get harder for you. You
Yep.
want to stay humble and you want to say thanks. Just remember that. All
Yep.
right, that's it.
Perfect. I was going to ask you any advice to younger DJs. So
That's it.
thanks for
Yeah.
doing my
I mean,
job.
I've never been sour. Well, I have been sour, but I've never shown it. You know what I mean? You have to have a positive attitude, and there's gonna be bumps along the road. But if you could overcome those bumps and strive for greatness, then nothing can stop you. Because if even you have little blocks, and if those blocks are sometimes they're people, sometimes they're people who don't want to see you succeed. But if you can overcome that and pass that, you keep going down the road, then what can stop you?
I can tell you firsthand that I've seen you go from someone who's a DJ that sometimes releases music to a producer that's also a DJ.
Yes.
And I really mean that.
Thank you. Yeah.
And I think that, I've interviewed so many open format DJs, right? Like really incredibly talented open format DJs, man. Like Mr. Shaw, Heavy, like.
I'm gonna tell you, like, to this day, I still think Chicago has the best open format.
I
DJs.
completely agree.
100%. I not to brag, humble brag, but I think I think I'm a good DJ, right?
You are, dude. You're one of the best open format DJs in Chicago. That's what I'm saying. So that's why it's hard to get over that.
Yeah, but when I'm in the club and I'm not DJing and I see some of my friends DJ in the club and they do stuff I've never heard, I still get pumped. I'll look at them and be like, whoa, so that's how I know we have the best of the best. We're the cream of the crop. Chicago has the best DJs, I think. So,
I agree.
Yeah, 100%.
I agree.
And many talented guys.
That's the thing too, is those guys, they have to challenge themselves more now too.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of open format DJs out there, and this is already a pretty hard scene to break into.
It is. It's very hard. It's very
we both
niche.
experience. Yeah. So the thing is, what maybe is making you different, what might last longer for you is, now that we've seen something that none of us thought would ever happen, which is the whole music industry being shut down for however long.
Yeah.
You gotta be doing some different shit. You can't just be a DJ anymore.
No, well, yeah.
I mean, you can, but you gotta be A-track on fucking steroids, man. Right? You gotta have something else.
Yeah.
And I'm just glad that producing music is not a means to an end to you to get to this end goal of playing in every club. It's something that you truly love doing.
I love doing it. It was my first it was my first passion, and then it was always first producing, then DJing.
Yep.
But then the DJing became fun, and the producing didn't become fun. And the DJing was paying the bills, and the producing wasn't.
Yeah.
But then you realize that, well, if I don't do this, then I'm just a DJ. I want to be more than that, which is not a bad thing, because, I mean, some guys can go so far with DJing.
Some guys make a lot of fucking money as a DJ.
Lot of money. Yeah. So much money. But I had to really think about this in perspective, and I was like, do I just want to be a DJ? Yeah. I miss sitting down, being in studio sessions. I miss doing this. So I was like, man, I just got to really focus in. And for 2 months, right when March hit, because I released music before, and I already knew basically how to make music and everything that comes with it.
Right.
It's just, I was a little. It's kind of, the example I gave is I broke my hand and I couldn't shoot a basketball, right?
Yeah.
And then once you take the cast off, you have to practice again to get your shot back. And that's kind of what happened with me.
Dude, it's true.
Yeah.
Jermaine O'Neal story right there, actually. If you know who that is. Yeah.
I do know Jermaine O'Neal, Indiana guy.
That's right, bro. Yeah, that is exactly what my dad used to tell me. My dad used to tell me that story.
There you go.
He broke his right arm, so he had to practice with his left, and that's how he got so good.
There you go.
What a fucking great-ass metaphor, bro.
Very good metaphor. And,
nice full circle right here.
Full circle.
You're better at this than me, dude.
So, yeah, and that being said, my hand was broken, and then once the cast was off, I was able to return to producing.
Yep.
You know? And I'm glad I kind of took that off because my passion came back for it.
Yeah.
It was like it just like lit a fire in me, and I was just ready. Like I got on my laptop, and it was like my first love, you know?
Yeah.
It's kind of like la 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 la. Like, I saw it, and I just instantly, I knew, like, I was like, okay, boom, 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 boom. It just all came together, and I'm so happy that I'm back. Like, it's so refreshing. Like, I love, like, the music I'm making right now is exactly what I want to make. Exactly. So it's very cool. And, I mean, it can only get better from here, you know? It can't get worse. It's got to get better. So
that's right.
And I think these next 2 years, you'll really see, like everything I'm talking about right now is going to come to fruition. You're going to see Maximo like drop a song at least every month, maybe every 2 weeks. We'll see. I have a lot of stuff, so we'll see.
I love that, man. On that note, what can we expect from you coming up here? Anything you can announce? I know we got some collabs in the works.
Yeah. Well, for one, we have an EP coming out. So
I know. I was going to let you announce that for us.
So we have me, you, and Flynn.
Yeah.
It's a 3-person EP on House of Hustle. Yeah. Shout out House of Hustle for taking us and taking the EP. It's tracks Ether and Miami. So I'm very excited for those two. Very good tracks, very well produced. Use a little bit of flavor from all of us. It's tech house essentially, but Miami's more jacking. Ether's a little more in your face.
I'm a jacking house guy, dude.
Me too.
Yeah.
But I'll play both of those all day. You know, those are great.
It's good music. I've been sending that because we've been rinsing those for a year now.
Yes, we have been rinsing those for a while, and I'm so glad they're finally coming out.
Thank God.
So glad. So
that's how long this shit can take sometimes for people that didn't know.
Yeah. So hey, another advice tip: when you're sending out to labels, do not rush it. You know, send it out, and if they don't respond in a week, don't send it to another label. Give them at least 2-3.
If it's the right fit.
Yeah, if it's the right fit, they will respond. So yeah, don't rush the process. It'll come.
True. There's a lot of producers out there, and I think it's easy to think, I know this is a great track. This is exactly what they want, right?
Yeah.
And then you can upset yourself. It's like getting yourself worked up.
Yeah,
it is. So worked up.
Life of a producer.
And it's tough, man. But wins like that are definitely what keep us going.
Yeah, 100%. So
really excited about
we got that. I'm super excited to be working with you and Flynn again. Love you guys.
We got quite the promotional team behind us.
We do.
We got a lot of fucking power, bro. Yeah. This is gonna be big.
It's gonna be big. I'm excited.
Yeah.
So we got that, and then I have a homie of mine from Canada.
Yeah.
Who goes by the name Santelli. Shout out my boy Santelli.
Very talented producer.
Very talented.
His name's been around. I used to follow. I heard of him years ago.
Yeah, he's a very good friend of mine now. He's on labels like Spinnin', on Syrup, Blanc as well.
Yep.
House of Hustle. The list goes on. Amazing producer.
Yep.
Great friend of mine now as well. We have an EP coming out.
Mm-hmm.
These tracks are banging. Sure, and when I say they're banging,
dude,
they're banging.
They're banging.
They're banging.
Okay.
I'm very excited.
I'll take your word for it.
Yeah, they're great. I'm very excited to release these whenever they come out. We have a certain label that we're like fairly sure they're gonna take it. Mm-hmm. So I don't want to speak on it right now, but it's there. So and it's a big label, so I'm excited for that.
Awesome.
Santelli. We have 2 tracks. It's going to be great, an EP. And then finally, 2 more things. So
Keep going.
Keep going. So then I have another EP, but it's myself EP. Mm-hmm. And that's a 2-track EP as well. That includes a track with D-Flow, my guy. It's called Molotov.
Yeah.
And then another track of mine called El Poder, which means the power.
Oh, I heard that one. That shit bangs.
That means the power in Spanish.
Yeah.
That's a 2-track EP coming out on another label, which I can't really speak yet because it's in the works, but it's a big label. Mm-hmm. Another one I'm excited about. And then last but not least, I just finished a collab with one of my great friends who I've been friends with forever, who's huge in the Chicago scene and house, who goes by the name of RV Mala.
Yep.
RV Mala. Yep. We just finished a track this past week in the studio, actually, and it is very, very good. I'm excited for it. Yeah, so it's a cool track. you'll be seeing that soon. Hopefully, we're gonna send it out. I think I know where I want it to land on, and I think it will. So, yeah, that one's really cool. And yeah, just be on the lookout for a lot of new stuff coming soon. If not, this month is our EP. The other EPs, I'm sure, will come out in 2021. So.
I love that, man. Shout out to RV too.
Shout out RV, my guy.
He was just on the show doing a similar thing, telling about what he's been up to. And that's why this podcast has been so special for me, because in one way or another, I felt like I'm a part of a lot of your guys' journey. Just like watching you, almost like, not like a father, but like seeing RV, who is really like a tastemaker in the Chicago scene.
Yes.
He like is the tastemaker.
Yes.
And to see him refocus his energy on production has been really cool. And I'm seeing so many of our friends do that, and it's just been like the most rewarding thing and inspiring thing. Like, I want to acknowledge you, like, for how much you've been doing. Like, when I say you inspire me, like, I really mean it, Max, because
thank you.
You send these tracks and I'm like, dude, fuck yeah. Like, you know, Max is feeling it right now. Like, I'm going to get in the studio too. Yeah. Like, let's do some stuff. Like, let's push ourselves a little bit. Let's like get back into it for the right reasons. And let's pretend we're in high school again, bro. Like, that's it. And I got nothing else to do except for whatever I want to do with my friends. Yeah, man. You music for me, man. You just gotta treat it like a class in college or something. You know, you just gotta really hit it, and you know, don't stop. You know, I try to make my goal is to make one track a day at least. You know, it could be a Jesus, bro. Yeah, it could be impressive. It could be a horrible song, but you wanna, you know, really try and strive to make one track or one idea a day, because then at the end, like a year from now, it's just, you know, you can make that idea in an hour. You know? So it's just the same way with anything in life. You know, the more you practice, the more better you get at it. And I want to be the best producer that I can be, so I'm gonna make that happen. I'm not gonna let anything stop me from doing that. So wow, I love that, man. Yeah. So I really do mean it when I say it's been such a pleasure working with you in many different ways. And likewise, Sherm, you're the man. Thank you, bro. I love this, and talking to people like you who are so passionate about what they do is an inspiration for me, like I said, but for so many others. So know what you're doing is not only great for you, but it's great for the scene. It's great for the music community. Yeah. You're influencing people that you don't even know. Yeah, I got Mad Law for Chicago. You know, at such a young age, they took care of me. Yeah. I've been able to do virtually everything in the Chicago nightlife. And, you know, there's so many names I could shout out. So I don't want to name them all. So I'm just gonna say whoever's helped me, you guys know who you are. You know, everything you guys have done for me. Those shout people out you helped guys. Me too. Exactly. I love all you guys. There's too many of you to name, but I love you guys all. So thanks for making my dreams happen at such a young age. I've done stuff that I didn't even think I was gonna do till I was like 26. You know, so and I've done it at 22, and I couldn't thank God more than I do. You know, I'm humbled to be in the position that I'm at, and to be able to, it sounds crazy, but I think I've been in this career, in a sense, this DJ career so long that I've been able to, certain aspects, tweak it to be where I want to be now. You know, like I'm still gonna be a DJ, but now I'm a producer as well, even more so than I was before, and I'm able to really push my limits now with that, because I know I've kind of not really pushed the limits, but I'm like pretty close to the limits with my DJing. Yep. So now I need something, like, that's the kind of person I am. Like, I need something to always get better at. Yep. Right now is my scratching. I'm trying to get better at scratching. Yep. So that, but now I got production as well, which I want to be the best I can be, and that's what I'm gonna do. I mean, nothing's gonna stop me. I love it, man. Only thing that's stopping me is sleep. Jesus. Talk to Flynn. I hear he's got plenty of Adderall. Oh, God. Dude, this has been so much fun, Max. Absolutely. And again, thanks for having me again. This is a great time. I love talking. Of course, bro. Of course, man. Keep doing your thing. Always, brother. And cheers. Here's to 2021, bro. Yeah. It's going to be a great year for all of us, DJs. So.